Hey, welcome to World Entertainment, and it must be that time of year again because Todd McFarlane is once again discussing the Spawn reboot. You know, the movie that he's been talking about for probably the guts of 15 years at this stage, that just never seems to be happening. It looked like it was going to be really close to actually happening when Blumhouse came on board, but he's even called them out and basically threatened them, which we'll get to. But he has new updates, which he's talking about a hell of a lot lately, and updates seem to be the main thing that he's kind of telling us. So what he's talking about now is he's saying that it basically won't be Marvel Lite, that it'll be dangerous and different. Ooh. Even though if you've seen and read, or seen at least, and heard I should say, the leaked script, Spawn doesn't even appear in the movie. Not the actual character of Spawn, the way you see him and know him. He is basically the wind in the movie. Literally, there's a scene where he's a bed. That's not a joke. He's literally a bed. You're in the room, you don't know as the viewer that the bed in the room is in fact Spawn in disguise. If you want to hear about the leaked script, go over to Mr. H Reviews channel. He did the breakdown of the script. He got the script ages ago, at least a year and a half ago, if not longer. But you can find his video on that where he breaks down the whole plot of the movie, and it just sounds god awful. But we're going to have a look at this now and see what exactly is being said. So, despite seeming to be one of those movies that would never make it to the end of its production, or even the beginning, Todd McFarlane has been talking about his Spawn reboot more in the last few months than any time in the last several years, having previously teased that the movie's script was almost complete before the 2023 writer's strike took effect. There is still no production start date set for the movie, but McFarlane has been sharing more details about his vision for the film. In a recent conversation with Screen Rant, which is surprising on itself because he only ever seems to talk to comicbook.com, McFarlane said that he has been having discussions about the film's tone, and it seems that those fans who have been wanting this version of Spawn to bring something different to the franchise could get exactly what they have been hoping for. McFarlane explained, "The one thing that I'm excited about in my conversations, and mostly with Scott Silver, is that he is just hellbent, and don't say that as a pun, literally, of wanting to do something different. Every conversation. He just is like, we just can't do Marvel Lite. He doesn't want to do horror because that is its own thing. He's just fighting to try and see if we can do something slightly different. We'll let the audience decide. I've always said, when you try to do something different, you let the audience decide whether that's better or worse, right? They're the paying customer." But he said something to me the other day that I thought was almost perfect. He said, "I want to do a story that's dangerous." And he didn't mean it in that there's danger in the story per se. He meant that it would be a little bit of a risk to do this movie because it's not going to fall into an easy formula. And I'm all for that. I'm all for trying something different. In his word, dangerous. That's music to my ears. Well, not with the script you had. And here's the other part, that previously McFarlane shared an update on the long-awaited Spawn reboot with comicbook.com, there you go, assuring fans that everything will come together one way or the other. This was the veiled threat of somewhat that he said about Blumhouse, because he said this: "Jason Blum is one of the better ones at getting things done. They tell me I get to read the script this month. The email is going out this week to remind them that they promised me that. That's not where it ends, but that's where you hear kind of, oh, they're kind of, here's a compliment, but it's a backhanded compliment because, oh, Jason Blum is one of the best at getting things done. And then the whole, they promised me they'd let me see the script, and I'm going to email them to remind them of that. Come on. But here is what he said, which is hilarious about Blumhouse. So he says, something's gotta happen. Something's gonna happen. I just know myself. Something's gonna happen. Because if I can't figure it out inside the Hollywood system, i.e. through the studio, I'll figure it out independently. I just know myself, but hopefully we can figure out a deal that keeps all the parties that have been involved over the years involved. There's the other part of the threat, which is, hey Blumhouse, either you get this thing going this year, or I'm taking it, I'm taking my ball on and going home. And the funny thing about him saying, if I can't figure it out in the Hollywood system, I'll do it independently. Well, good luck with that, Todd, because you tried that years ago. He tried to crowdfund the movie, and people just gave up on it because he kept changing the price. He originally started off, I think it was about 8 million. He said it would take no more than 8 million to do the movie. That very quickly changed to 10 million. And people were like, okay, 10 million, we understand that. Let's do it. And people started investing in it. And all of a sudden it went from 10 to 12. Then it went from 12 to 15. And before you knew it, the thing was up to almost $30 million. And everyone just pulled out and they're like, you get stuffed. You said you could do it for 10 and now you're up to 30. What's going on? So he's telling Blumhouse, do it this year or else I'm leaving. Now he's saying the Scott Silver, whoever he is, that they're having these conversations about, oh, we're going to make it different, and not different like it's going to look different on screen, or that it's going to be a major risk, which sounds like they want to continue on with the previous script of, oh, you're expecting to actually physically see Spawn. Yeah, you're not getting that. Which then raises the question, well, how's Jamie Foxx meant to be playing Spawn? Well, he's probably going to be playing Simmons, who is Spawn before he becomes Spawn. And you'd probably see him like that through flashbacks. And as for him saying, you know, things have got to happen, we got to get this ball rolling, it's like, Todd, you were one of the main reasons nothing has happened. Because he has unrealistic demands. Every studio he brought the movie to, he demanded A, he gets to write it, and B, he had to direct it. And every studio went, no, you're not directing it. We'll let you have input in the writing, we'll let you be, give notes, but you're not directing. And he refused flat out. He's like, no, my stipulation is I'm directing. The guy's never directed a movie. He's directed a couple of music videos, I think I heard that, but nothing on the scale of movie making. So he has no skill whatsoever. So of course studios were like, look, we know it's your character and stuff, but at the end of the day, you're not a movie maker. You make comics and you sell toys. That's it. You have no business being behind the camera to direct a movie like this. And he kept refusing. So we'll have to wait and see. Mind you, come this very day next year, we're probably still going to be talking about Todd McFarlane's giving a new update on this film, because it's probably never happening. It really isn't. And if it is, it's going to be the most bare minimum of movies. Blumhouse are probably going to pump like 4 million into it if it actually happens. So that's the update for Spawn again. And with that, like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.